creating a new live broadcast. Well, let's hope. So, let me just refresh, see if I've popped up anywhere. No, of course I haven't. Every week. No. Where do we go? Maybe I'm a little bit too quick. I just went blast there. There we go. I can't expect. There we go. Right, cool. Right, I'm going to say hello. Mike Shacklock has just already started with a question mark going, what? It's like, what's this? Why am I here? What am I doing? Welcome. How many we got so far? I think it was like only 7 last time. I looked. Yeah, so it's 7. That's fine. 7 people. Even the fact that it's like 15 minutes before the row starts and there's 7 people here, that's quite amazing. So anyway, hello 7 of you. If people say hello, I'll say hello over the next 15 minutes. I'll repeat a couple of things over the next 15 minutes as well as people join. So apologies to the 7 who are watching right now, because you're going to be like, hey, I've heard this guy say this already. God, is this a rerun? But yeah, first thing to say is move, warm up, do things to make sure that you're okay when it comes to the start of the row. This is something that I should be listening to myself. Hey, there's TT, Tommy Tao. Hi there. Hi. Warm up, move your body. So whether that's just literally just like sitting on the machine like this, it's enough. Like doing this, I can feel my knees pumping, activating. I can feel my calves stretching as I come into the front. Warm up done. Hey, nice. We can do for the next 15 minutes. Or you can just do your arms only rowing. You could just sit there here, just kind of go la la la, just do some arms only rowing, or just practicing the rocking backwards and forwards, or whatever. Just get some kind of warm up done. Is what I'm saying. Hello from Greece. Oh, I love. Well, have I done? No, I've never done Greece, but Greek islands I've done, obviously, because being British, that's kind of, it's either kind of like the Balearics or the Greek islands you tend to go on your summer holidays. So, hey, there's John Edge as well. Good to see you back. Now, what have we done? We did the very first holiday back in 1997. Oh, very first holiday with Julie, who then was the light of my life and still is the light of my life all these years later. But yeah, we went to Corfu first. And then the year later we went to Crete, and then we did, what else we did? We did Zante and Kos, and then 2 years ago we did Rhodes with the kids. Rhodes was nice. I do like it, yeah, it's just very nice, and yeah, anyway, nobody cares about my holiday plans, but I just thought, because you said Greece, so yeah. I'll try. Listen, when it comes to that sort of row and stuff, talking away, I will motivate. I'll try and motivate. When it comes to the kind of setup stuff before, you know what it's like. I'm kind of always here in a kind of a little bit of a, my brain's all over the place. Haven't set up the actual machine yet, so I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. At the firehouse in an old Model B, always had a soft spot for firemen. Not in that way. But I've always kind of just thought firemen are the kind of, or firefighters, there we go, it's better, are the coolest of the emergency services. I used to love Backdraft. Remember the film Backdraft? I'm sure, David Fleming, you watched that and went, "Pacha, that's not how it happens." But yeah, I loved that. Then I was a big Kurt Russell fan, so like I told you, it'll be a little bit random. So everyone, what are we up to? We're up to 70, so a good 17 people here now. So 10 people have joined since I have said this already, which is to make sure and warm up. Okay, so we've got around about 10 minutes to go before the row starts. So make sure to do some kind of warm up, or you can do what I do and just start, and then the first 10 minutes for me is pretty much my warm up. I'm going to explain exactly what's going to happen. Is that very true that you're the coolest of all the emergency services? Yeah. I think at one point, does every boy want to be a fireman? I know that was a generalization, but like when you're a kid, when you're like 6 and 7, and you're thinking about what to do for a living when you grow up. I certainly wanted to be a firefighter when I was young. I thought, hey, that'd be great. Hey, talk to me, Goose. Hello, where are you? East Lothian. I was in West Lothian yesterday, Stephen Gurley. I was in Armadale. I was in the personal best CrossFit gym. I was out there doing a high rock sim. I will talk more about this today because there is a story to be told. But yeah, okay, so we're bouncing around for all these different things I'm talking about. And you know, if I don't actually start setting up my machine, I'm not going to get it done. Now I've reduced my drag factor. The lever's now down to 5, which I think for me gives me a drag factor of, I'll do a test first. I'll tell you what my drag factor is in case you care. Now that noise as I started that first pull is also, there we go, yeah, 128. So my lever right in the middle of 5 gives me a drag factor of 128 in case you are interested, all right? So main menu, and then if I hit connect rower on EXR, you can see it's just popped up. And then once that's connected, I will connect my zone. Once it connects, come on, come on. It's really gone with the chest strap first on my zone, because I think there is just basically an inherent problem. The only time I've ever had a wrist heart rate monitor that was accurate and worked, funnily enough, was my Apple Watch. Because you'll see once we get into this, that even the MyZone is like really flaky. Or I don't know whether it's, well, no, because it's connecting to that. Yeah, it's just a little bit flaky in terms of reading my resting heart rate. Eventually it kind of it gets into itself. Right? Do we want to go? Of course we want to go. There we go. Right. Yeah, but my Garmin that I wear on my left wrist, that's just weird. And MyZone, see, it's saying 80 right now. And I'm going to do it again. I know I've done it before and it's not very scintillating TV, but I'm going to wait for this to get down to 15 seconds to go, and then, okay, so, on. I know, that's 9. 9 beats in 15 seconds. What, 4 nines? 36, all right? So it's almost like, the only thing I can think, hey, Tobias, good to see you. And look, you're right in the middle of the screen. The only thing I can think is that basically the MyZone's like, there's no way this guy's only got a resting heart rate of 36. So it kind of, so it goes, oh, I'll just make something up. And then once I get into exercise, it's perfectly fine. But yeah, no, I don't know. It's the same with the, if I'll turn on my Garmin, now that we're all set up and connected. Row indoor, that's what we're about to do. I'll just start it now, even though it's a little early, just so I can get the heart rate reading. I'll take my shell off as well. It's a bit chilly. I don't want to, I mean, listen, I'm not going to complain about weather. People around the world have got worse weather than I have. It's just a bit chilly and, hey, there's Ronnie. Hey, rowers, he says. You're a rower, Ronnie. Don't pretend you're not. Yeah, it's just a bit chilly. It's a bit kind of like, it's basically, it's not summer anymore, and that's why I'm complaining. I'm definitely a child of the heat, so, which is probably a bad thing, as being tomorrow is when I'm going to the doctors to go and see about this strange lesion I've got in my back that isn't healing, that the doctor thinks might be a basal skin cancer, so maybe I shouldn't be a child of the heat. It's all those trips to Greece, eh? Anyway, good afternoon. Thought I'd give it a whirl this afternoon. Oh, fantastic, Adrian. Great. Roddy says, first time, I'm not sure if I'm set up here or where I am on water. All right, I can't see anything that says, if your username is your name, Ronnie, I can't see it popping up, but hopefully, let's see if it works. You know, if it doesn't work, you've got the rowing machine in front of you, you've got me waffling away at you on YouTube, so you can just row for half an hour anyway. And then, yeah, what I'd recommend, going by what you were saying in your post yesterday on the Facebook group, is just keep it at that kind of low intensity zone 2 thing, build your engine up, okay? That's what like speed in the rowing machine, all that kind of like going tempo, whatever. You don't need that. What you need is to have like your engine, your fitness to be able to last a little bit better. So that's what, rowing's fantastic for that. I think, I mean, you say Belfast Ronnie, what other Ronnie is there? Don't think I know another Ronnie Downey anyway. Anyway, yeah. So from a Hyrox point of view, everyone talks about how you have to train. So this is sorry for everyone else. Who else is? So there's 27 people watching. 26 of you are just not going to care about this. Ronnie will. When it comes to Hyrox training, everyone will tell you that you have to run. And the whole point is that not only you're getting your kind of the physiological side of building your legs stronger and getting faster, but it's also about just building your fitness, your base and stuff. And you can do a lot of that on the rowing machine, just building up zone 2 stuff on the rowing machine. So, or at least that's kind of what I do. So, So CBDB's here, but will not be able to type. Oh, because you're on Apple TV. Very nice. Yes, it's me. And I'll let you get on with your show. That's all right, don't worry. I mean, the whole point of having a messaging system is so that people can message. Adrian, if you've got any issues or anything, then, well, there's not really much I can do about it. But yeah, I hope you don't. Remember, everyone, hopefully if you can see, basically if you can see yourself on screen, and if you've got a heart rate monitor attached, it's kind of changing as you go. I really honestly don't have a resting heart rate of 92. Could you just stop it? Anyway, yeah, so hopefully you're fine. So as far as the workout is concerned, I am taking this super duper duper easy today. This is a recovery row for me after doing the sim in West Calder yesterday, and also because I'll talk about this during all good from Adrian, fantastic. I talked about this during the row, but I actually picked up a really annoying injury during it as well, which I'm really hoping is going to ease off on today's row. So I'm just going to go really super easy. I'm just going to kind of drift into it just to make sure, because I'm going to have to take it really slowly at first, because basically it's my lower back that's gone again. So I'm going to take it really easy, and then over the course of 10 minutes or whatever, see if my body kind of warms up and kind of eases off again. And then I might kind of go a little bit faster, but otherwise, this is just a little pootle for me. It's kind of effectively a rest day for me today. So if it was any other day, if I didn't have this as a live stream, I'd do this as a nasal breathing row. Oh, I'm going to do this, where I basically just kind of load up half hour or do like a course on EXR and keep my mouth closed and row for however long it is. I did this. I've got a video up here on YouTube where I've actually put a piece of tape across my mouth, but that was just for video purposes. I don't ever actually do that in real life. I just keep my mouth closed. It's as simple as that. But by breathing through your nose or making sure not to breathe through your mouth, there's only, or for me anyway, there's only so hard that I can row, like intensity-wise. And although I can go a little bit faster than zone 2, what it does is it kind of makes me concentrate and keeps me within that kind of zone 2. Bearing in mind, when people talk to you about zone 2 heart rate training, if you don't know what it is, search it. But they'll say it's you keep it between 60 and 70% of your max heart rate. It's like a speed limit. Everybody aims for the 70, right? Nobody goes, oh, I'm going to go for 60. Everyone aims for 70 because they feel that's how they're going to get a better workout. But what I do is I aim for 65% of my max heart rate so that I've got headroom to go up a couple of percent. It's not like if you hit 71%, suddenly you don't get the benefits of zone 2. But the problem is it's the creeping. It's that kind of, oh, I'm going to aim for 70, and then you get like 5% added. And what happens is it's just like the balance shifts where the real benefits of zone 2 start to kind of reduce slightly the more intense you get and stuff. All that said, heart rate based training could be absolute rubbish. So I've got a little lactate testing kit, and once I come back after my break, I'm going to make a video basically comparing heart rate based training versus my lactate levels, my LT1 and LT2, and see what the difference is. Anyway, sorry. Sorry. So, lovely Tommy Towers just said, it's Tommy, it's not Timmy, isn't it? Has just said, I like the idea of kidnap style rowing with the mouth duct taped. It just misses John's waffling. It would be hard, wouldn't it? Van Halen. Spaghetti bolognese. Or it'd be like having Kenny from South Park rowing. Anyway, right, sorry. So, like I say, I'm going to go nice and gentle. You do what you do, whatever you want to do. If you want to go fast, go fast. If you want to go slow. If you want to go up and down. Just pick a plan and stick to it, unless you have to. And actually, that gives me something to think about talking about today, plans, right? So, 30 seconds to go. There's about a 3-second delay between the actual app for me, I think, yes, and YouTube. So we're close, but not close enough. So keep an eye on your app if you're doing this, all right? So I'm going to take my keyboard down so I can see things better. And we're going to get going in 10. This is why I proved to you I can count backwards. 8, 7, 6. I'm reading off screen. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. I'm going to take it really easy on that first one. Right. So, everyone just chill. Oh, no, everyone like if you're warmed up and you're already ready to go, then hit whatever pace you want. Or if, like me, you're starting from cold, then ease yourself into it. And if you don't know what I look like on screen, but this is really uncomfortable to row right now, so let's see if I manage to ease off over the next minute or so. Because I might as well tell you what happened. So basically it was a high rock sim and we were running outside through a park, and it was a 2-lap course we were doing. And as you started the second lap, there was like a hairpin turn to get into it. And as I went round that hairpin turn, I felt my SI joint, the sacroiliac joint, click. So basically it's a problem, recurring problem that happens when we run about once a year. And I felt and heard this click, and I was like, oh no, that's not good. And then finished that lap of the run, and the next station I had to do was a sled push, which, trust me, is not what you want to be doing when your SI joint is just clicked out of place. There's Charlie Simpson. Hey. Anyway, Nick Fox. So, start pushing the sled, and it's just screaming the pain in my back. And I managed to do like a kind of, I don't know how you describe it, a twisting shuffle, kind of like, and then felt this click as it went back into place again. Because there's like a really hollow pain that comes from it. It's really hard to describe that feeling when it just goes out of place. It's almost like, you know, if you ever get your knee kind of clicks out of place, kind of like that. Anyway, so as far as I can tell, the main issue resolved itself. Unfortunately, the muscles in my lower back are now, and this is still like a day later, just an absolute spasm. They're just like, completely knotted up, tight, and really, really sore. So that is why I am happy today just rowing down at 2:15 pace. I think that might just be, if I just stick to 2:15 and kind of 18 to 20 strokes a minute, hopefully I'll be in control enough as we go through the row, because it's just coming into the back here. So anyway, less about actual me, but more about what this leads to, and that is plans. All right? How many times have you said, or maybe heard someone else say, yeah, Monday, I'm gonna get fit on Monday, I'll start going back to the gym, or yeah, new year, or start the month, or once I've got this presentation done, or whatever. And then things just happen. Things get in the way. An injury happens. Work happens. Something derails that plan because you're like 2-3 days in advance. Even if it's like, you know what, Monday, that's when I'm going to start my healthy eating. I'm going to stop drinking and blah, blah, blah. And then maybe you have a bad day at work and you just can't face it. You're like, nope, comfort eating is the solution here, which it's never a solution. But sometimes, I know with me, sometimes if I've had a bad day, weirdly I crave chocolate. Well, not weirdly, I know what it is. Because of I've had a bad day, and I want that kind of dopamine hit you get from the satisfaction of sweet, sweet chocolate. But anyway, you get what I mean. Is plans are great, but don't plan them so far ahead that something can derail your plan. Like, I had a plan myself this week to really hit some really long runs, like 15 to 20k runs, try and build up my running endurance to hopefully help my running speed in high rocks. But unless this back eases up sometime soon, that's not going to happen. I also had a plan to row my first 2k time trial of the season. I thought, right, it's about time I put on my big boy pants and decided whether or not I return to the world of indoor rowing racing next year for my big milestone birthday. But unless my back eases off, that's certainly not going to happen. I've got a video in the edit suite right now relying on me doing a 2k time trial, so it's all kind of holding up my video production. It's a video about how to estimate what you're capable of in a 2k when it comes to trying to pace it. Because it's like if you're, well, maybe not, maybe you've never done a 2k time trial, but if you have, the first time you do one, you're like, I don't know how fast to row this. And so you can go out, settle down, and row it too slow, and then you sprint the last 500 meters, but it's not really a good indication of what you're capable of. Or you can go in all guns blazing, completely blow up within 1,000 meters, and then have to paddle home for 1,000 meters because you're exhausted. Now, in both cases, you can still take your average time, your average pace across it as your starting time for another effort, because you know you can manage that. But anyway, sometimes it's a bit more useful to have a closer ballpark. So I've not done a 2k in proper anger since 2018 maybe, right before I cut my hand, which put an end to my racing career 6 years ago. Good grief. The thing is, by the time I was healed better and we were out the other end of COVID, it'd be 2022, I was 47, and basically completely the wrong end of the age categories now, getting beaten up by all the 40-year-olds. So I've been kind of treading water a bit, but also finding high rocks has been a great diversion. But last time I did one, anyway, it was 6:40 was my pace. But I know I'm not at 6:40 2k right now by any stretch of the imagination. So anyway, so that got me to thinking about how to estimate your 2k time, and there is a VO2 max test you can do, and I'm now kind of waiting for my back to be okay to put the proof or the result to test. The thing says I should be able to do one in 7 minutes in 2 seconds, which I do doubt, to be honest, but still worth a try. Anyway, we are over 10 minutes in, and I want you to think about your technique for a second. Let's just do a checkup, make sure we're not getting lazy. Nice segue for a 2K plan. Yes, well, it's kind of the other reason I'm doing it. So I want to recreate one of the 2K plans I've got up on YouTube, because they were both made during COVID, when I was still learning kind of how to talk and row, how to do the green screen stuff and all that. So anyway, remember, we start to think about technique from the backstop. Okay, so from here, and I want you to think about the handle away first, triggering your forwards tilt, and then once your arms are straight and you're in that forwards tilt, that's when you bend your knees. Your hands should be well past your knees by the time they bend. Just checking, yes, just checking that was actually happening with me. And then you roll into the front, only until shins vertical. Hold that forwards tilt and arms straight as you push your legs into the machine. And then once you are around about halfway through that leg drive, that's when you finally swing your back. So I'm going push, swing, and then right after you start your swing, that's when you pull your arms. So take a look at your arms as you're rowing. Just look at them and take a kind of look at what your elbows are doing as you go through the stroke. You should see your arms are straight for most of the drive. Straight, pull at the back. So straight, pull. Straight, pull. So important. And really, look at it. Look at your arms. Don't think, yeah, I'm fine. Take a look and see, even if you've got that little bend to take up the tension of the flywheel, that's enough to break your technique. Let your legs do the work at the front, not your arms. And use that backswing to add power. Okay? And there's so many reasons to row like this. Efficiency is really the key. It's like injury prevention, all that kind of stuff. But if you can go legs, body, arms, it's the most efficient way to row, which means you can row for longer because you're being efficient. You can put in more power because you're not wasting any, but also because you're being efficient. You shouldn't tire yourself out prematurely, but it also helps with pacing, because if you couple your stroke rate to the power you're putting into the machine, that's how you know, or how you kind of attenuate, let's say, the effort you're putting in. And depending on what you're doing with your rowing, you really need to know what your body can handle and how to put the power in. Like, a 500 meter sprint, you want to go high power, high stroke rate, basically everything you can muster, mister or missus, for a minute and a half, 2 minutes, completely emptying the tanks within that 500 meter time trial. But then if you're doing a 10K, you need to go for a bit more of a sensible stroke rate. I mean, I do a 500 meter time trial in kind of mid 40s stroke rate, whereas a 10K, I'll kind of start off about 26, 28, and then sure, for the last 1K, I'll go up to 32, 34, but keeping that stroke rate down helps with your cardio not blowing up, and then it's up to you knowing how much power you can put in per stroke as well. And so that's kind of why I constantly bang on about technique, why it's important, and why it's so frustrating to see people just not caring. It's the one thing about this world of high rocks I have entered, is just this thing about how it's like it's only a 1 kilometer row within the high rocks race. And so the majority, and I do mean the majority, just think the row doesn't matter. You go on it, you flop up and down for 4 to 5 minutes, climb off and go on with your day. But so much more to it than that. Like yesterday when I was doing the sin, by the time I'd ran 5 kilometers and the burpees had kicked me in the bahookie, when I sat down onto the rowing machine, I knew it wasn't about performance. It was about holding 157 pace at 24 strokes a minute to let my body recover. Something that when I got into the world of high rocks and people were like, use the row as a rest, I was like, how dare you? That's sacrilege. But I don't use the row as a rest. I use it as a recovery. I think I can sell it to myself that way. Anyway, so that's the point of technique and control, and knowing that at 20 strokes a minute, you have a pace that you will always row at, like a default pace that you can then push, overdrive if you want to. Same with as you go up the stroke rates, 20, 22, 24, you kind of have a default pace, training pace, that you can then overdrive. Anyway, there we go. That's my technique rant for today. That was a good almost 10 minutes. I mean, I am slightly evangelical about it, but it is the thing that I know will improve everybody's rowing, is just tightening up the technique. And you look at some people that are out there saying, sorry, my microphone's on the way again. That's why I keep on moving my t-shirt. Yeah, that are like, this is how to row. And they're huge. They're like 6'4". Their biceps are the size of my head. And I look at them and go, I just don't relate to you. I don't see someone, this Adonis on a rowing machine, and think, yeah, I could be like that. And I do wonder sometimes whether that's where I've kind of positioned myself in this YouTube market. I'm 50 in February. I figure I'm a lot fitter than your average 50-year-old. I have gone through, if you look through my videos, which I recommend doing for the RowAlong treasure hunt. Remember, I'm still running this until the end of the month. So, giving away a Concept 2, brand new Concept 2 to somebody. You just have to watch my videos and wait for the message that pops up saying you found treasure. Full details are on my website, rowalong.com. What was I saying? Yeah. So if you look through the history of my channel, you'll see I've gone through quite a lot of body changes too, where, like, again, going back to COVID, when COVID hit, I really took it in a kind of odd food way where I just ate and drank everything that was in front of me. And you can tell. I got rather large, or for me anyway. And then just time rowing, being sensible, lost all that weight. And then I think when I then got COVID, I went through that cycle again. And it kind of happens. I think beginning of this year I was probably on the larger side, but then over summer trimmed down a bit. I've actually kind of gone back up a little bit. I was down to 77 kilograms. I'm back up at 80 again. So my problem is, and it's probably to do with age, that I'm trying to add muscle right now. I'm trying to put on muscle. So eating a lot of protein, a couple of protein shakes as well. But my body just sees the extra calories and goes, hey, great, let's create some fat. So that's what I've been doing for the past month, is basically just adding to my spare tire. And what I don't know, every now and then I think about doing a video about, this is what I'm like now. This is what a couple of months of strict eating and training can do, but I don't really think anybody cares. But again, you look at someone like Mark Lewis on YouTube, and he does surf that normal guy niche in an extremely good way. Look at his viewing figures. And so I wonder whether there is an avenue that people would care, because I'm only like 5'11". I'm not particularly muscly to start with, whereas Mark's 6 foot a million, and he already had a big frame to hang the muscle off. I've never had a big frame. Anyway, so how did we get there? Why did I start talking about that? I don't like talking about just me. One of the big pieces of advice I was given when starting the channel was to always make it about you, not me. But there's just something about these half-hour rows on a Sunday where it's almost like a confessional where I can kind of talk about the things that are going through my head, kind of understand them, see whether it resonates with anybody. Especially as being, when it comes to the YouTube thing, I've said it a few times before, I'm just trying to work out how to grow. Why is it that my latest video, the 5 drills to be faster, which came out so last week, Monday maybe, Tuesday, and it's had like 1,700 views, but
some of the competitors, they make a video like that and it'll have like 170,000 views. It's like, what is it? So that's why I kind of have these thoughts. I'm like, is it that the competitors have placed themselves better in the market? Or is it just poor videos from me? Who knows? Luckily, because I have a day job, it's not like I need... YouTube isn't my profession, so I can just keep it as a hobby. But I would kind of like to have this as my profession. Let's see whether my next video about how to predict your 2K time, let's see if that's what launches me into the stratosphere. So, a little bit of housekeeping as we come into the close of this row. Make sure your arms are straight at the drive, remember, think technique, let your mind come back to technique. So I think I watched movie-wise the George Clooney, Brad Pitt, Wolves film. It's all right. It's not great, but it's all right. I think if you didn't have knowledge of the history of Pitt and Clooney working together, it probably would, most of the jokes will fall flat and mean nothing. Also watched the Matt Damon, Casey Affleck, was it The Instigators, is that it? Again, not great, past the time. Julie went to bed halfway through it. I finished it off. And tonight's dinner, just as a celebration of getting through my high rocks yesterday, is chicken katsu curry. There we go. That's us all caught up. I normally talk music as well, don't I? If you're looking for, if you like your kind of 80s, 90s Californian rock sound, I really recommend a band called The Bites. They were supporting the Dead Daisies, who also I recommend. I saw them a couple of weeks ago. And they're awesome. How that kind of Motley Crue, Van Halen, kind of that era sound to them. Oh, so my back is better than it was when we started, but it certainly isn't better. Don't quite know what to try next. I mean, this studio stinks of Ralgex right now because I was just slapped some of that on first to try and warm the muscles up. I did have, when I came home yesterday, I did jump in the ice bath, hoping that would sort things out. Didn't really make a difference. I just think rest, massage, maybe some meditation as being its muscle spasm. The muscle just needs to kind of relax. The temptation, of course, is to have a nice big glass of red wine and let alcohol work as a muscle relaxant, but mustn't do that. That's not going to help anyone, especially on a Sunday night, on a school night. Got work tomorrow. Finishing off episode 8 of This Farming Life. Whew. Anyway, I may have actually run out of things to say if I'm starting to talk about work. It's a good thing we've only got 10 seconds to go, isn't it? Oh, right, so finish strong, don't limp to a finish. Make sure and still push with the legs. Pull in. Oh. Oh. And then just rock up and down a bit. It's kind of, I'm a great believer in not just stopping. Just let your body move as your heart rate comes down. And my heart rate, 110 according to Garmin. It's gone off the, I think I'll continue. I think I'll keep rolling. There you go. Yeah, so 110 and falling from my zone, so it wasn't a particularly hard row. Charlie Simpson, hey, what are you saying, big guy? I look forward to seeing your lactate video soon. Drop and drag factor might help reduce back strain. Well, that's why I took it down to 130, to be honest. But I could probably have dropped it down more. To be honest, I think we'll all agree that possibly rowing wasn't the best thing to have done with my back going into spasm. But, no, like I say, it's like, I can tell it's definitely not, it's not pain from the joint clicking out. That's definitely sorted itself. It's definitely just muscle spasm. And I can tell that because it has kind of come and gone a little bit. Whereas when the joint goes, it's like constant, like real sharp pain and never goes away until it clicks back into place. So I know it's muscle spasm. Anyway, so yeah, when I was saying housekeeping, what I actually meant to talk about is what's happening in the next couple of weeks, which is basically that I'm taking a break. However, I've asked the EXR people to continue to program the rows. Whether they actually do call it Rise and Row without RowAlong, I'm not too sure. But so keep an eye out, and there should still be next week at 9 o'clock in the morning row for you to join in with. It's just that I won't be there because I'm taking a break. And then the weekend after, I don't know whether they're then going to still program in the 5 o'clock one or whether they're just going to do 2 9 o'clocks. I'm not entirely sure. I'll get in touch with Max and find out exactly what they can do, and I'll post it. So yeah, if you're still looking for a group row, in fact, I don't even know if they've already done it. But if you're still looking for a group row at the weekend, they should still be there, even though I'm not here, right? So there won't be a live stream, there won't be anything like that. It'll just be the EXR app will be there. And then I will be back on Hang If Where 6, 13, 20, 27th. Is that right? Yeah, I'll be back on the 27th to basically kick it off again. And then if you've got any requests in the meantime in terms of duration or maps or style, I mean, I know Andrew Fielden and I were talking about trying to do like a Zoom call, have like a couple of people on a Zoom call rowing, so you can actually we can put that on if you want, like if you want to do that, or we could always do like a chase the hare idea, where basically people lead, like the slower people start, and then other people try and catch them, can kind of maybe try and do something like that. But anyway, that's kind of ideas for just because we've been doing this for a year now, so it's like, are we happy with just it being like this, or do you want to make it a little bit more fun? Maybe once a month we could do something different. I don't know. Anyway, who else is talking to me? John Edge, what to say? My 2K time on the 1st of August was 10:54. Followed your 2K revamp, and on Tuesday this week did 8:22. Oh my word! 2.5 minutes. 2.5 minutes off. That's incredible. Oh, thanks, David. I will. Regarding the audience, imagine you're a jazz musician. The rock guitarist plays 3 chords to 10,000 people in the audience, and the jazz guitarist plays 10,000 chords to 3 people in the audience. Yes, I like that. Just yes, and you know what? The only reason I want it to be bigger is just to reach more people. It's not like I want. It's not about me being bigger. I just think that there's lots of people out there who aren't rowing properly, who aren't getting motivated to row, who don't want someone to come on and say, hey, you've got this, you're looking great, because obviously I can't see what you're rowing like, I can't see that. And there's loads of people out there that I think would respond to my style of coaching, or if nothing else, would respond to my videos about drills and technique and all that kind of stuff. And that's why I kind of want to grow, is to reach those people. It's not about me and kind of, obviously, like I said, I'd love to do this for a living instead of making TV programs, but yeah. But at the same time, I'm quite happy with the fact that I do reach so many people. People like John with his 2K just then, going from 10:54 to 8:22 is just stunning, right? It's incredible. If you said to someone that that's going to happen, they go, oh, yeah. So the fact that I am reaching people out there is fantastic, but I just want to be able to send my message out to more people. Anyway, Tobias says thanks. Yep, thank you, Tobias. John Boyd. Hi, John Boyd. Have I heard your name before? I don't think I have. Hello, John Boyd. Thank you. But yeah, there we go. Right, I'm done with my rant. I think I've covered everything. Yeah, so
Have I? Yes, I said about the next couple of weekends and what to do and just like ideas for how to mix things up. And we'll just see what happens, okay? So it's lovely that you keep on joining in. It's all these familiar names. I say this every week because it really does mean so much to me that you come back and you put up with my chat. Whether maybe you hit mute, you never know. But yeah, please have a fantastic couple of weeks. Keep an eye on my channel and socials or whatever you want to know what I'm getting up to and things. Otherwise, I will see you back here on the 27th, which I guess will be the 9 o'clock in the morning one. So I will see you then. Until then, please look after yourselves. Wrap up if you are in one of the places where there's some pretty nasty weather coming. Please look after yourselves, okay? Stay safe, sheltered, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, and look after your loved ones. Hug your mum. If you see her, just give your mum a hug. And yeah, and your dad. I mean, dad, everyone always misses out the dads for the hugs. Hug your kids, hug your dog, hug your cat. Well, maybe not the cat, because mine, one of my cats doesn't like getting cuddles, which is quite sad. I miss my old cats because they used to love getting cuddles, whereas, anyway, right, I'm going. Have a fantastic Sunday, have a great couple of weeks, and I will see you in a few weeks.